Alrighty, are we live? Let's just see. Alrighty, I think we're live. Let me just see. Hey. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my first ever live stream. I'm probably a little bit nervous, so this may not sure how this will go. But basically, we're just going to be doing a Ultra Rare SR set review for the latest box to come out, Resonance of Contrast. So basically, I'm just going to get right into it. For the people that are watching on YouTube, sorry for the lack of uploads. I've been very, very busy recently. Literally, I'm doing this stream just before work, so I don't know. Anyway. So the first card in the set is Snipe Hunter. I think this card's probably the most exciting card. It's probably the only really solid card in the set. It was actually used in the TCG for a while. It's a pretty strong meta card. Basically what Snipe Hunter does is it allows you to discard one card, then target one card on the field, roll a 6-sided die and destroy that target if you roll a 1 or a 6. If you will notice, this text does not include a only use once per turn, so you can use this as many times as you like. This card is very good. Oh, someone in the chat. Hey boys, what's up? Anyway, this card is actually probably the best card in the set, I think. It's really, really strong. Keep in mind this card doesn't work with the last set to come out, the Dark World sets, because it's a cost, not an effect. So you can't just use it to discard your Dark World monsters. But it is still a fairly solid card. The next card in the set is Red Eyes / Dragon. Honestly, I've already played against this card a few times when just queuing into ranked, and it is really strong. It's not going to be meta defining or anything, but it's a lot stronger than I thought it would be, considering that Red Eyes is already a strong enough deck. It didn't really need any more buffs or added cards to the set, but Red Eyes / Dragon it's actually pretty good. What the card does is it requires one Red Eyes Black Dragon and one Warrior monster. When a Red Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target one Warrior type monster in your graveyard, equip it to this card as an equipped spell. The equipped monster gains 200 attack. When a card or effect is activated that targets a card you control, you can send one equipped card you control to the graveyard, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon as many monsters from the graveyard as possible that was equipped to this card. It's really hard to kind of show you how this card works unless you've seen it played already, simply because the card text is like reading a book. It's long as fuck, but it's really, really solid. Being able to pull things from your graveyard is just, especially with that card they just released, which was in the last Hey Lois, Gognet? Ugh. I'm so nervous. Never live streamed before, this is really nerve-wracking. Yeah, I have seen it played quite a bit, it is pretty, it's a very solid card. Where was that card they recently released that was really good with it? Forgot the name already. Probably should have come more prepared before doing this live stream, shouldn't I? Yeah. Oh well. The main issue I have with this card is that warrior monsters themselves aren't actually that strong, so there's no real like staple warrior monster you want to bring back once the Red Eyes has died, but the card itself is just really powerful, but I'm not sure how meta-defining it will be until more warrior monsters are released for the archetype, but as it stands, it's a pretty solid card. Alright, let's move on to the next one. The next card in the set is Paladin of Dark Dragon. You can ritual summon this card with Dark Ritual. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a defense position monster, destroy that monster. You can tribute this card to special summon one Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck, except Red Eyes Black Trick. You can only use the effect of Paladin of Dark Dragon once per turn. So basically this is just the Paladin of White Dragon but for Red Eyes. Is it any good? Probably not, as you'll see Paladin of White Dragon isn't run for Blue Eyes already, so there's no real reason for Paladin of Dark Dragon to be run for Red Eyes. Although it's not exactly like a bad card, but used in a deck, probably not. I don't think it's good enough for the current Red Eyes decks, as there's already a ton of Red Eyes cards in the format. But it's not a bad card by any means. Alright, the next card is Dawn Knight. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send one light monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent from your deck to the graveyard, you can target one light monster in your graveyard, place that target on top of your deck. You can only use Dawn Knight's effect once per turn, and only once that turn. Why did I read that? You can only use Dawn Knight effect per turn. Alright. Not really sure what to think of this card. You send one light monster from your deck to the graveyard. So this is basically just used in some kind of light monster deck. I'm not really sure what this deck is, what this card focuses on, like what, especially from this set. It's probably one of the later cards to come up. Light monster. Well, my first thought on reading this card is, does it work well with the Paladin dude? Where did I put him? Which set did I put him under? Yeah, this set. So the first thought with that card is, does it work with Blackluster Soldier, which seems like it could actually be pretty good for Blackluster Soldier decks. I'm not sure if it would be a staple in them, but it seems like it could work really well. As a lot of the time you are trying to get this into your graveyard and also trying to get it into your hand for things such as the Creator, which basically, if there is a card, if the Blackluster Soldier is in your graveyard, you can then use the Creator to bring it out. So it could be a good card for the Blackluster Soldier deck, maybe? I'm not really sure. It can also be used in obviously the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck, I think. It is just any light monster, isn't it? Yeah, so I think this might be a good card for BLS, might be a good card for Blue Eyes. But I don't see why you'd run this card when you could just run Deep Diver, which basically just does the same thing and puts a card on top of your deck. I may be missing something here, but I guess this allows you to just put it in the graveyard as opposed to just putting it in your putting it on top of your deck. Maybe there's a card later on that's really good for this, but I don't really see this card being that good when you can just use Deep Diver instead to put a card on top, which can be used for any card in your deck, not just for light monsters. But it can put light monsters in your graveyard, I guess, so... Yeah, he's very good. He does also thin out your deck. He does recycle monster cards. That's a good point. Anyways, next card. Bungie Yamato? God, sorry about card pronunciation. Once per turn during your end phase, you can add one Bungie monster from your deck to your hand, then send one card from your hand to the graveyard. So I guess this card will be pretty hard to evaluate unless I've gone through the rest of the set, because I don't know if there's any current Bungie monsters in the game. There might be. Let's have a look.
Let's go.
Actually, I'm pretty... So what are these monsters? Oh, it's quite a lot of these guys. Well, there's any really solid staple cards to this? That's in the latest set, we'll go over that in a moment. Well, I haven't seen this deck being played in PvP yet, so I assume it's garbage, but maybe it has some kind of potential? No idea. Haven't seen this deck being played in PvP yet, so it's a bit hard to evaluate whether or not this card is any good, but I'm gonna assume it's pretty bad. Haven't seen anything on Reddit about it either. I spend a lot of my time browsing Reddit. I haven't seen anything about it, so I assume it's a pretty bad card and the archetype's just bad currently without more cards being put in, but maybe it's alright. I don't know. If we come across any more of the Bungie cards, then I'll talk more about it, but currently I'm just going to skip past this card. Alright, next card. Paladin of the Cursed Dragon. Once per turn, you can target one level 4 or lower zombie-type monster in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle. Special summon that card to your side of the field. Ooh. Interesting. Ah. Could this be a good card for the current Red Eyes zombie deck? Seems pretty good, honestly. 1,900 attacks, fairly decent, plus being able to summon any of your level 4 lower zombie type monsters? Damn. Damn, that could be used with... That might even be like a new staple for Red Eyes. It seems really good. Solid and 6 samurais, you think? Oh yeah, it is. Oh, which card were you saying was solid in 6 samurai? Dante? Sorry if I butcher your name. The last card we were looking at. Yeah, if this game did have a sideboard, this card would be fairly solid. Currently, Red Eyes is played quite a bit, so this card might actually see play, but it is your opponent's graveyard, so it's not as strong as I thought it was originally, because apparently I can't read. But yeah, there's no sideboarding in the game, so it would be very strong if there was a sideboard. But against... If Red Eyes gets a lot of play, this card could see a lot of play as well. His effect does read... Yeah. Anyway, next card. Phalanx Pike. The equipped monster gains 900 attack for each card in either graveyard that has the same name as it does. Well, that includes your graveyard or your opponent's graveyard, but I don't really see... No, this card won't see play at all. Seems really just average. Any card that really... if you're going to run any kind of buffing card, I don't know why you wouldn't just run Metal Morph, the trap card. I don't really see why you'd run this card over just a Metal Morph in general. Yeah, I think this is just a really bad card. Too much of a condition. Alright, next card. Void Trap Hole. When your opponent special summons a monster with 2000 or more attack, negate the effects of one of those monsters with 2000 or more attack, and if you do, destroy it. Oh, it sounds really good. This could really stop certain decks becoming strong, because any decks that require mainly special summons, as long as this card exists in the game, those decks can never really become really high tier if this card gets played a lot. Basically, it's just a stronger Floodgate Trap Hole if the opponent's deck special summons a lot. Obviously, it doesn't help burn decks because it doesn't put a face down monster on your opponent's board, doesn't fill up their 3 monster card slots, but it's still a fairly strong card. I believe special summon works for Ritual Summon too, right? So this includes Cyber Angel. I'm pretty sure anyway. Not 100% on that. Anyway, next card in the set. Next card, Skill Successor. Target one face-up monster you control, it gains 400 attack until the end of this turn. During your turn, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster you control, that target gains 800 attack until the end of the turn. Alright, this just seems like a bad card. I don't really see why you'd run this at all. Target one monster you control gains 400 attack in his turn. During your turn... Yeah, this card just seems really bad. It's just a card you get to use twice. Its effect can be strong, but I don't see it being run over a Mirror Wall or a Wall of Disruption. Because they're both of them. The Wall of Disruption, one is a permanent effect, and Mirror Wall can be used twice, just like this card can be used twice. So I don't see why you'd run this over either of those two cards. They just seem much stronger. Plus, this only targets at most 2 monsters, and a 400 attack buff really isn't that big. The 800's alright, but yeah, I don't see why you'd run this card over a Mirror Wall or a Wall of Disruption. Anyway, next card in the set. Defense Draw. During your opponent's turn, at damage calculation, make the battle damage you take from this battle 0, and if you do, draw a card. Oh, so another card that could be used maybe in Exodia decks, in other kind of stally decks like that. The draw card in the end is kind of nice. Obviously, because it can only be used once, it's not as good as, let's say, like Karibo's effect, but I can see this card being alright. Being able to take no battle damage and draw a card. Pretty solid. It's not like a staple card in like an Exodia deck. Honestly, I don't think it'll be run in an Exodia deck, but it's nearly good enough to be run. It's not a bad card by any means. Certainly a good card for like replacements if you don't have certain other cards for decks like that. Could also be running all these other stally burn decks if you just want card draw. It's a good way of thinning out your deck anyway, and kind of delaying games further. Well guys, that's pretty much it for the set review. Sorry about like how short this stream was. Mostly I was just trying to do it to try and test to see if I could live stream for starters. So thank you guys for tuning in, if anyone did tune in. Currently, how many viewers? 2 viewers? Oh, a couple of people have tuned in. Nice. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, it's also very... Yeah, like, Trap Card would have also been very good for side ranges as well. Oh, sorry, ninjas as well. Yeah. Seems real good. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do more live streams more often of me just playing the game in general, but currently I just wanted to test to see if I could live stream, see if it was any good. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully I'll see you guys more often when I do more live streams. Not sure how often they'll be, because just getting so many hours at work, it's real hard to try and get time to do YouTube stuff. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you Dante Powell for being active in the chat. It's real nice. Makes it real easy to stream when I have someone else to kind of talk to in the chat. Alright, catch you later.